Alright, welcome to Mandolin. Today, taking a look at a true all-time classic, Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash from 1963. Definitely one everyone should have in their tool bag. And it's great because it's a super simple song, and we're going to look at this in a couple levels here. The first level is the most basic beginner level, so if you're just starting out on the Mando, you can get this right away. I mean, on day one, you can play this. So we'll look at the basic chords first, and then we'll look at adding, a little bit of the vocal melody. It's not a very complicated vocal melody, so this is never very complicated. But we're going to add a little vocal melody as we go, because it can be a chord solo by itself. But first, we're just going to look at it as chords, as if you were just going to sing over it, or your buddies were going to sing. You're just going to jam along. So we're going to get going on that. But I have to do the commercial here now. Before we get going, make sure to subscribe down below. Mandolin doing a lot of these lessons and tutorials and gear reviews and whatnot. Let's see, make sure there's a link down below to check out the Mandolin store for not ukulele shirts and stickers and Mandolin merch and all the usual stuff there. And of course, I'll put the PayPal and the Venmo down there. If you're watching the channel, getting something from the channel, kick it a buck or two. That would be fantastic and most appreciated. Thank you so much. And lastly, hey, if you leave a comment, let me know where you're watching from in the world so I can put a pin on my map here. But I've rambled too long here. Let's get started. Ring of Fire. Check it out. All right, so it's in G major. And before we even get to the chord progression or the verse, we're going to do the little intro here, which in the song is trumpets and horns and stuff. But of course, we're going to do it ourselves. And it sounds like this. Is you're going to be on your 5th fret of your A string, and you're just going to want to use this finger and use this finger for the 3rd fret and this finger for the 7th fret, and is the melody. You're just going to hit the bottom 2 strings at the same time. One more time. See, the hand stays perfectly still, and you're just moving the fingers. And now the second one is down here on the 2nd fret. And it goes 2nd, 3rd, open, 2nd. But again, hit the bottom 2 strings below it at the same time. So there you go, it's the whole thing. Then it goes right into the first verse. Alright, so we're going to look at the verse here. And first we'll look at it in its most simplistic form, just playing the chords, as if you were singing over the top, or you were jamming with your buddies and someone's singing along, and you're just playing the chords here. And it's just 3 chords, and it's a G chord, which is 3rd fret on the high E, 2nd fret on the A, so it makes this little angular shape, and then the bottom 2 open. Now if you take each of these fingers and scooch them up 1 string, so that they're on the middle 2 strings, 2nd here, 3rd here, then it becomes a C chord. And our last one going to be D, 2nd on the top, 2nd on the bottom. So that's a D chord. G, C, and D. So in its simplest form, all this verse is the G chord, goes to the C, and then to the D. All there is to it. Now when it goes to the chorus, D, C, and G. And then you can go back to this. That's it in its simplest form, just those chords. If you're singing over it, or if you're jamming with somebody who are singing over, you can just play those chords underneath and sound great right away. All right, now if you wanted to add some of the melody in there, you know, more of a chord solo if you're playing by yourself, you can start to add some of that melody on top of the chords. If we're just here on this G chord like we were doing, second fret of the D, 5th fret on the G here at the bottom, and then back to the open D. So just while you're on the G chord, you can go. You can follow that with the 2nd fret twice, then open. So you can just kind of incorporate that melody in there. Now we can add a little more spice to this phrase here. Like this phrase, we can try sliding into this first note. And sliding is when you put, you know, our note is here on the 2nd fret, right? But if we put here on the 1st fret, keep the tension there and scooch it up to the 2nd fret. It adds a real vocal quality to the sound. You can slide into that bottom note too. This is all real easy stuff, just sitting on this G chord. Whoops. And one other thing you can do, if you wanted to add the full melody, you could come down here. Which is just 4th fret of the G, and while hitting open D on top of it, go 4 and 5, 2, 4. If you wanted to. You can come back up here. There's any number of ways you can go about incorporating this, you know, super easy little melody on top of these little chords here. That's just a couple of ideas of how to mess with the verse. Let's check out the chorus. All right, so let's look at putting a melody on top of the chorus chords if we wanted to. So here's the chords in their simple form again. The chorus is just D, C, G. But if we put a little melody on top of that, open D, 4th fret of the D, and then open A. But let's make that A be part of the D chord. Now before we were fingering the D like this, but here it's a lot easier. Sometimes situation just dictates easier fingering, and here it's easier to grab it this way. And we only really need the bottom 3 strings. Just because you want that to be the top. That's the top one. We're going to move into a C chord, but just changed one note from the C chord before. Before it was second here and third, but instead of the second, we're going to be on the 5th fret of the D and 3rd fret of the A still, because we need that note is in the melody, so we need that note. So we can pull off 2nd to the open on the D string. What this is, open on the G string, open 4, then open D. This little melody, which is D string twice, 4th fret on the G, 5th fret of the G, and back to the open D. And then down here, open G, 2nd fret twice, and back to the G. So that whole chorus one more time. So let's put all that together for one time through in a chord melody sort of way with the melodies on top. Again, it's real easy just to use the chords as a backing, you know, if you're just singing along, your buddies are singing. But if you want to add the melodies on top, let's just run through it one more time here. All right, thanks for tuning in to Mandolin. I'll see you next time.